fight for the Western Clash.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and continue here. Dignitas sitting home right now. Bakery and Zelia sitting on top of the edge of their seats, waiting to see if Expert can get a victory. Going into game number 3, Expert will be choosing Tuma Spider Queen as Team Liquid will elect to grab first pick.
Yeah, so right now, Expert still fights also for position, by the way. So it comes down to seeding, of course, as well. So that's another point. But when it comes just for qualification, Expert is through. Expert is already in. The only question right now is, will Liquid join them? Or is it going to be Dignitas? And as we heard already earlier, Ethereal and his boys, they are going to try and do Snitch a bit of a favor here. So they will try everything to win at this point, also to improve their own seeding, which of course helps them towards the Western Clash. But they definitely go. So congratulations to Expert at this point. They finally have done it.
I have. They made it through. And on the other side of that, that means that either Dignitas or Team Liquid won't be at the Western Clash, which is always a crazy thought to think about.
Also, it means, unfortunately, for all the Tricked esports fans out there, that Tricked is out. Tricked cannot go to the Western Clash anymore.
Get tricked.
Get tricked.
Get tricked, man. Stitches is going to be banned, as well as Medivh here. Tassadar picked up for Team Liquid immediately.
So Stitches already out, but the Tassadar first pick, again, we've seen this nearly every game today.
Yep. Seems like that's what I'll be doing tonight if I play Hero League. First pick Tassadar all day, every day.
Because Tassadar works so well in Hero League. You know that coordination that is really there.
Yeah, it's super good there. I just go for full Archon, just wait till level 20, I just win the game by myself. No big deal, man, I got this. Easy mode.
Yeah, easy game, easy life.
That's right.
But where's the force wall value then?
I know, that's the only problem is I don't get to make plays. I just have to auto-attack and just beeline with little zaps here and there. Okay, so Tassadar first pick here for Team Liquid on the other side. Team Expert thinking about they want to move into. Last time we saw them grab the Vala right away. Now that was BOE though. BOE is a little bit more indicative to picking up that Vala. You want to be able to burn down that Immortal. So with it being Tuma Spider Queen, different choices could be coming in for them. Vala is still pretty good here for the wave clear, but you'll probably go into the multi-shot build if you would like to.
Yeah, okay, Uther, first pick, and Sonya. So Uther, Sonya taken right away, leaving Genji open for now. We already said that Uther, of course, plays a huge role against Genji as well if he gets the stuns in. And of course, if you're playing the Tassadar, the question is, do you really go into Genji as one of the tier heroes that you can empower here? But it's definitely an interesting start into it. Very high priority on Sonya. We usually see that a little bit further down the road, but we know that Expert values Sonya more than any other team right now, especially since they also quite often play with Leap to get an extra stun in and engage.
Yeah, that was interesting to me because typically what we say last week, if you saw Uther and you were able to pick up the Genji, you grab both of them. That Dragon Blade synergy is way too strong. But I do think there is a bit of a mad scientist theme going on here. First off, you have your Sonya, which is what you mentioned. Expert loves to run that route. They just want to grab it right away. But also, I feel like Genji with Tassadar just doesn't work out so well. So now they force Team Liquid into a spot where they either grab the Genji or ban him out, which is a ban that they wouldn't mind getting rid of because Uther still has synergy with different heroes. So I actually like this pickup from Team Expert, and it changes the drafting a little bit.
So, Liquid. We went through the scenarios just a few moments ago. Liquid still needs to make some plays here. They want to win this. Oriel and Vala are now being picked for them. So we have the double support Vala being played, heavily committing to it on Tuma the Spider Queen here.
Vala Oriel, man, one of the hardest compositions to kill, man. That Vala getting the front line, all the heals coming out, grabbing those shields available for the Tassadar, the life still just popping out constantly, and it's very easy for you to group up with Tuma Spider Queen and get that hope coming in to heal you up. So Team Liquid has a great foundation. Team Expert on the right side will have to think about it. Do they want to ban out a frontliner here? Because they'll get a frontliner on their side, and they can kind of pinch out their opponent.
Yeah, they could definitely try and do that. So with the bans here, I mean, it's going to be pretty rough to actually ban them out of anything. There are too many tanks that really excel on the map. We have seen, first of all, Nanubarak still doing really well here. You can play Johanna, even though we haven't seen her really in all that much in the recent times. Muradin can be taken as well. There's so many tanks around that are possible. Diablo, as he's banned out, of course, would also be great. It's really rough to get into any kind of role chokes these days. There's too many that would really work with this. Genji now, as you said before, it needs to be banned out still, or at least it's a very typical ban here.
But with the Genji being banned out, Team Expert can now move into a tank they would like to have, so we're going to see what they're going to have. I do like the ban on Diablo, by the way, whenever you have a Sonya. Sonya naturally wants to get in that front line, and Diablo gets free control over her.
And at the same time, why would you ban out a tank if you're Liquid? You're only limiting your own chances of getting a good tank. Yes, there is always going to be a tank that you can branch out to, but if you ban out high priority tanks already, Expert is just going to simply pick up their own frontliner, and then you have even less options when you're Liquid. So at this point, I think the Genji ban makes a lot of sense for them. If they don't want to ban Genji, I think the one thing they could have done is ban out one of the mages, one of the range damage dealers, just negate that a bit. But for now, let's see how Expert is responding to that Vala double support, that hyper carry combo that we're seeing here.
We'll see if a Nubrak's one of the picks they do want to grab here. They're going to need their damage pretty soon. We've seen Nick on Gul'dan in the past, which I wouldn't mind seeing here as well. We'll see what they're going to pick up for the third and fourth. It's going to be the Greymane and the Anubrak here, so do have the nice setup, have the Engage and Cocoon for that double support.
Pretty strong setup for them for sure here, having not only the Cocoon. So this is one of the cool things when you're moving into the double support, that you move in with Cocoon, you can use the Leap as well, and if you coordinate, if they go into Leap, which they have done a lot, if you go Leap, Cocoon, Greymane, Curse Bullet, you can just like try and run over your opponent. You just engage, you Cocoon a target, you jump on another, try to get Uther close for the second stun, Greymane gets the Curse Bullet in right at the get-go, and then you commit to sniping one target away. So if you coordinate that properly, then you have a really good shot at taking your opponent down. And ideally, Team Liquid would now pick something that can interrupt all of this, that can at least throw a bit of a wrench into that plan that Expert obviously has.
I like you mentioning Johanna earlier. I think Johanna's good in this battleground for the wave clear, but that gives you that interrupt that you were mentioning. The Condoom, she can step forward and bring out that Iron Skin and keep the Greymane / Sonya away from the fight long enough to actually deal with the Cocoon coming out. So that could be a great option for them. We'll see what Team Liquid wants to move into. It's going to be Leoric and Murden, so they're going to grab two tanks here.
Yeah, so the two frontliners for them. Leoric for the solo lane, and he can also then apply the pressure later on by using Entombs to isolate someone. And you have Muradin for the stun, so that works as well.
Skullcracker versus Sonya, one of the most annoying things when you're trying to whirlwind.
Yeah, it's really a pain. But now we're talking about potential range damage on the side of the Expert again. Are we going to see... It's basically ADR's pick that we're waiting for here. He can play Greymane. We have seen him on Greymane. But at this point, Medivh is already banned out. He would probably have loved to play it, but he doesn't get the chance. Who do they set into the 4-man? Because Sonya will take that solo lane against Leoric.
Do you skip a mage here? Help out with the poke and the wave clear?
I mean, a mage would definitely help them. They could even go into an additional melee if they wanted to. Would put them very melee focused, and Leoric would love that, so I would expect the range carry on that side.
Would Zul be a possibility? We've seen it in the past from Expert, but that's when Blade was on the team. Let's see here.
I wouldn't really play the Zul with this one.
Let's see. It's going to be Li Ming, so there's our mage.
Having the mage and the poke makes more sense. The problem is if you have Zul, then you're looking at 3 melees. If you include Uther, if he doesn't stay in the back, that's a 4th. If Greymane commits to Walking Form, that's a 5th. Then you get Paralyzing Rage on Leoric, and you just enjoy the game. At that point, you slow everyone down. You have a guaranteed hit on every drain hope that you get. You can grab so many of them with a good Entomb, and then everybody else just capitalize on it. You have Vala just also poking. You need someone else that is a threat from the backline.
I mean, have you played New Cleave, Zul, though? It's pretty insane if you had a couple people.
Yeah. I've actually seen in Europe a couple of different Zul builds now. Cleave is one of them. It's really strong, but it can also still go with the new Jailers and the Quest talent. You can also get a lot of pressure onto single targets with that. So that's pretty interesting as well.
Well, Li Ming coming in here is going to get some blow-up possibilities here. And remember, if the blow-up does hit any of those 3, the 2 healers, of course, Ariel or Tassadar, and the Li Ming, the fight essentially is over because you're taking out the main girth here of what is available for the opposing team. So we'll see what's going to be happening here. As Team Expert, it just set up great for their lanes, but for wave clear, Team Liquid in a pretty decent spot. They got that Leoric already, and of course, Vala with the multi-shot build is going to be helping out a lot.
I like what Liquid has this time a lot more than the Battlefield of Eternity draft, because the early game was just too weak for Liquid, so this time they are stronger around it. They just have to make sure that they are not getting blown up immediately. We know what Expert is trying to do. They're trying to engage. Depends also a little bit how aggressive they're going to be. That's basically the choice of Sonya. Is it going to be Wrath of the Berserker, which is more sustain, or is it going to be Leap, which is just putting all of their eggs into the blow-up basket? But the idea is going to be either way to engage with the Nubarak, get a good Cocoon, focus on a different target with everyone else, blow the target up, and then fight a 5 versus 4. If they can get that, Liquid is screwed. If, on the other hand, Liquid survives that one attempt to take a target down, then they have a really cool sustain comp that can help them to win the battle.
Well, let's figure it out here. Game number 3. We're all tied up 1-1, but someone has to take a lead. Will it be Team Liquid or will it be Team Expert?
Game number 2. Tomb of the Spider Queen is our second map as Liquid starts to the left. We have a 1-1 score right now, and we see Nurok on Leoric. We have Hazorps on Tassadar, Splendor on Oriel for the double support, Darkmok on Vala, and Blumby is playing Murden.
On the right side, in the red, Nick on Li Ming, Bad Binny on a Nubrak, a Thorough playing Sonya, Curson on Uther, and ADRD will in fact be playing the Greymane. And they are here and they are proud on their horses as they're going to charge straight to the middle of the map.
Yeah, and this again, Team Expert is already qualified for the Western Clash. With them winning the last map, that's all they needed. Expert is qualified for the Western Clash. There is no tiebreaker scenario anymore. If Expert wins the entire series, though, if they win the best of 5, then it would mean that Team Liquid is out. Team Liquid would not go. Instead, it would be Team Dignitas that advances to the Western Clash. But if Team Liquid is able to win the best of 5 here, they and Expert would both go to the Western Clash, and Dignitas would be the one to miss out. At this point, there's already no chance anymore for Tricked Esports to make it to the offline event, but for Team Liquid, everything's still on the line.
Splendor in a little trouble here, taking some damage on the left side as Darkmok and Blumby head to the top here to clear out the lane, but Splendor will survive, especially with the aid of Tassadar. And I love that we see this Vala being played by Darkmok. Team Liquid putting it all on the line here, getting them in that Vala mood, bringing out the multi-shots, and really allowing the mechanical skill of Darkmok to help move his team forward. Here it is, though. Team Expert on the right, looking for some engages, but Splendor instantly stops it with a ribbon.
Yeah, Liquid, they have to play out of their mind right now. They know that they're in a spot where it's in their own hands. For Expert, it's still about the standings. They want to be the second spot in the standings and not the third spot. It would make it easier for them at the offline event itself. And we already heard a bit earlier that Snitch and Aethera have been talking a lot about this. Expert is going to do everything they can to help their friends out to make it to the Western Clash. But Liquid, it is absolutely important for them to get the lead here, to just get that momentum. And Darkmok, as you said, on the Vala, as the hyper carry, is going to be the one that has to make sure that he delivers the damage, that he gives Oriel that hope for the heals. And so far, they've been doing well here.
Yeah, and the victories even matter still for Team Expert. Remember, BlizzCon still down for the Long Kong, the big arc, the big final tournament that we all want to go to. Every victory matters for them, so they're, of course, going to be coming in with their A-game.
It's a really good point that you raise here. We're talking a lot about the Western Clash, which is, of course, the short-term goal. But all of these games that we are seeing still count towards BlizzCon, so it's not only about you making it to the Western Clash. At the same time, every best-of-5 victory you gain is improving your chances to going to BlizzCon at the end of the year. So it's a really good point that you raised. There's a lot more on the line than only the Western Clash itself.
Well, so far, both of our teams keeping up with each other, 4-4. A small turn-in for Team Liquid as they have dropped 17 gems off for the moment. Looking over Team Expert, I'm trying to see what Sonya's moving to. She hasn't picked her 4 yet.
Yeah, Sonya is just waiting out, but I want to quickly highlight another talent. We have currently for Tassadar, he doesn't go into the extra life reach. Instead, we are seeing them with Kala's Light. And this is... I love this choice. They really are thinking about what's happening here. They look at Expert's composition and they immediately identify what is that supposed to do. They want to blow up a target. Does Life Leech help us with that? Not in the slightest. It's great to have, of course, on your Vala, but the one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you keep the target of Team Expert's sniper composition alive. And the armor talent on level 4 for Tassadar helps you way more with it. It also helps you to protect your front line, your tanks. So this is a really important talent that has been taken now by Team Liquid's Tassadar. I really like the adjustment. It caters towards what Expert is trying to do here.
And for you at home, that gives 15 armor after the shield expires. So you get through the shield and you're still a little bit on the tanky side for a total of 3 seconds. 6-5 here for Team Expert, 6 about to 6. And we're keeping up with the clear here. Who will get the first turn in? So far, Team Liquid has been sneaking in gems pretty well already, as Team Expert's been kind of focusing more on the wave clear. So Team Liquid does have a chance here to get the first turn in, especially if they can get a kill on Curson. Nice. They get a kill here.
They get the kill. Curson is down. And we're still seeing Darkmok fight. And not only talking about the Color's Light, but we also have another armor talent taken, and that is the Hardened Bones on Nurok's Leoric. We don't see that talent a lot anymore. Royal Focus is the priority talent for most Leoric players these days, trying to get more wave clear. But again, Liquid just looks at what Expert is trying to do, and they pick great talents on 4, on their Tacita, on their Leoric, to make sure that they can keep these targets alive. So this is just absolutely awesome. This is what Heroes is really about. Trying to identify what your opponent is trying to do and then make small adjustments that make it much harder for them and that allows you to play a much safer and better game.
Well, the adjustments are paying off so far as Team Liquid with their kill and their pressure has gotten to a point where they have gotten a turn-in, and they'll be able to start pushing in the middle, top, and bottom with their Web Weavers. Team Expert is going to be on wave clear duty for the time being, as they're in a spot where Team Liquid is hoping to break down turrets.
So at this point, we have once again a bit of a push going. Interesting also, the level 7 for Leoric going into the Orson's Renewal. Rarely do we see that talent. So you have a bit of self-heal that's more self-sustained. I would have expected Paralyzing Rage, to be honest. But it also helps you after dying to just come back a bit faster. And this can be the key on the map here. For now, the pressure at the bot lane is strong, by the way. Expert is doing a great job defending. But Liquid still wants to get a few structures, and they are focusing again on that bot lane with 5 right now to at least break through the wall.
Everything is about survival for Team Liquid with all their talents they're picking up here, just making sure to keep Team Expert away from those resets that could be occurring. And it's working out. 8.5 to 8 now as they break down the bottom wave. Team Expert does handle this early game Web Weaver push pretty well. However, Nick is in trouble. He's taking pressure from Blumby on the right.
Yeah, Blumby needs to back off though, and does so. So he is not overextending here. It was a bit deep, but not deep enough. And also, we talk a lot about the talent adjustments, but look at the Nubarak, for example. Shed Exoskeleton and the Chitinous Plating has been taken out as well. So just going away from that deep dive that we usually see for Nubarak, catering a little bit more to the recent changes where Nubarak lost sustain.
Interesting. Haven't seen that build yet, but you look at it and you think about it, it does give you a little bit more control, able to deal with that ball on the front line a little bit. You don't have to dive as heavily here, which allows your Li Ming and your Gray Ming to bring out the poke. Pretty solid pickup from them.
I mean, if you think about what the Nubarak in the recent patch has lost some of the really tankiness that he has, which is why a lot of teams are not comfortable playing him as the solo tank anymore and use him as a second tank more than anything else. So these talents just show that there's a bit of an adjustment going on, as Experts still have to run a Nubarak as the main tank, but they want to make sure that he can still stay alive in these fights. And with them now getting the kill against Vala, this should easily be a turn-in for them. So that was really well played.
Yep, and they do. They get the turn-in here with Greymane turning in on the bottom. We're going to have a dive from Bad Benny. They were looking for Splendor, but Splendor sneaks on by past the turret. And Team Expert will now take their turn at pushing in. And here's the good news for them, too. With the Web Weavers coming, they're also about to hit level 10, while Team Liquid just did.
So Team Liquid doesn't really get too much out of their first turn-in. Even though the Experts have not had a turn-in yet, they just now get the value. They are on exactly the same amount of experience. So let's see how Liquid is going to play with it. So Vala is back, so he can fight around this. This Integrate already chosen. No big surprises when it comes to the abilities. One thing that we have to point out is that, again, Aethero went into Wrath of the Berserker, not committing to that leap that has been so dominant for Expert in the past.
Continue push here in the middle. Sonya controlling that bottom lane too, doing very well against the Yorick, keeping the Web Weavers pushing in, while the top is also by itself. Team Expert goes ahead and commits to the middle lane. They're looking for a fight. They want to force situations here, while Team Liquid is content trying to soak.
Expert is doing really well. They want to go for the fort, and they get it. Not only that, they have Sonya with the pressure down to the bottom of the map. Nurok really struggled against Aethero here, and Expert got so much more value out of that Web Weaver wave. The objective helped them out to claim an entire level lead over Liquid. Liquid is really starting to be in some trouble.
Yeah, seriously, this fort in the bottom is low. Sony can actually push it here because they put 4 people on top. So Team Expert's gotten this fort down to half, which does force his hand of Team Liquid. They have to come up and defend that. And Sony is grabbing Giants on the bottom. She will eventually, if uncontested, get that fort without any issues, especially with how well she's been playing against Leoric.
It's turn-in time now. You need to get that second turn-in, and that's what Liquid wants. They're trying to move in here, but they just can't get it yet. And Sonya grabbing that camp at the bot lane lane that we talked about, that we saw. That's a big issue because now the bot lane is pressuring. So either you allow your opponent to get a turn and you give up your own, or they are going to get the value. But instead, we are having to fight for AD. Artie gets the Divine Shield as the Entomb comes out. But look at Blumby on Muradin. Gets saved by Orion last second. Can he survive though? Barely jumps out, and Darkmork helps with another wave of the Rain of Vengeance to stun the opponents out as they attempt to drop the main tank of Team Liquid.
Also, out of the shield will keep Blumby alive. Also, the Aegis there from Splendor was just enough, and the turn-in goes in, so Team Liquid goes for a big fight. No major kills. I mean, look at it. It's only 1-1 in kills right now. It's all about the turn-in for both of our teams.
Yeah, but still, I mean, this game is again getting close as Expert wants the level 13 talent, and they want Blumby too. Hop, little dwarf. Hop just barely gets out of here. But Expert, no respect whatsoever. They're just saying, guys, we need the 13. Let's go to the top and drop the fort and make sure that we get the talent advantage so that we have an easier time defending here. And there it is.
13, yep. I was a little bit worried for them as Leoric was on the bottom side and his Entomb is up and available, so I thought Nurk could come in for a rotation, but Team Expert gets it just in time. Webweaver's pushing in the middle, and Team Expert's already here on the case for the defense, while Sonya sits in top.
Yeah, Sonya at this moment is still defending up at the top lane. Vala is not with the team in the middle yet. Bot lane pressuring, of course, thanks to the Webweavers, but Expert, they have all the wave flare they need. They drop the Webweaver in the middle, then you move to the top, and Liquid is desperately trying to close the gap in experience that exists between the two of them.
They're getting close, at least. They're getting turrets here, so close to 13. One more wave of experience and maybe another turret could be good enough for them. The fort is actually the one under focus as they realize they have it by default.
Yeah, screw the turrets. They need forts. They have lost 2 already. They're about to lose the 3rd at the bot lane, but at least they get the one up top. So Expert now on 2 forts still remaining, 1 in the middle, 1 at the bottom. Both of them already suffered a fair amount of damage. And we have at the same time Team Liquid just blasting the waves away. They grab their 13, so now they have the nullification as well. And the extra damage through Leoric, who can use that with the Entomb to get a bit more damage onto whoever he tries to lock down.
And for 13, we have Tempered by Discipline for Vala. She's intending to be in these fights, working in those auto attacks to get that lifesteal occurring, making it a little bit easier for her to stay alive if Tassadar and the Oriole keep up the heals. So no Gloom, which is pretty interesting against a Li Ming.
Still, this is pretty cool here right now. 1 kill on both sides, slight lead for Expert. Fort about to fall here, will definitely, no doubt about that. And also, Tassadar, of course, working more and more towards the completion of his level 1 talent of the Psy Infusion. So he's currently at roughly 840 stacks. He needs 1,000 to get the damage increase.
Almost there, looks like. And remember, the damage of Signing Storm will get increased when he does finish that off, so will be helpful in team fights, especially with the area effect. And if he gets that level 16 for the Double Storm, oh my gosh, almost blown up, but the perfect Aegis from Splendor will keep Blumby alive.
That's exactly what they need to do, keep the target alive, and so far they did. Can he turn it around now, though? That's the question. They go in, they hit the Storm Bolt. Where's the Tomb is on cooldown already, can't use that. They don't get extra damage in. Norok might be too deep, and he is. Goes down. Leoric eliminated, and immediately trying to slow the opponent down. But that was a bit annoying for Liquid. The initial burst, they survive it, and then they can't turn the fight around.
They get cut off as well, and Bad Benny looks for more here. He knows it's going to be a 5v4. Nerok's trying to come back as a spooky ghost. Can he get it in time? No. Blumby falls as Muradin will be focused down, and here's the resets. Nick bringing out some damage here, but realizing he's low on mana, he has to retreat, and Darkmok, he decides he wants to fight.
Yeah, Darkmok in a 3 versus 5 still gets the damage in, and a lot of that too. Norok coming back to life and is attempting to get close enough to drop his Entomb, but is a bit too late for that. So Liquid definitely not afraid to fight against an opponent that has a numeric advantage when they know the cooldowns have been committed to.
Yeah, especially when the shield's available, and of course the Tempered by Discipline being available, getting lifesteal through as long as he doesn't eat an orb to the face. Team Liquid and Team Expert are keeping at it, but Expert's starting to take a nice little lead. 15.5 to 15, just barely hitting for Team Liquid, and turn-in is available. Expert can siege down their opponent, and they're working on it. In fact, they're grabbing the Giants on the bottom and getting the turn-in.
So they get another turn in here, and they go for the Giants, as you just pointed out. Visible to Team Liquid, but they cannot invade that. The bigger problem is the level 16 talent, because once more the Experts are ahead, and Liquid will be behind by an entire talent, an important one at that, when those Web Weavers start to do their work. We have, at least in the mid lane, a camp that pressure puts the lane out a little bit, so that helps. Hazorp's also completed his quest talent, so he has a bit more wave play available for himself. But they need to make sure that they're not falling here. Nurok can always move back. They keep only the tanks up at the front, and Nurok just simply retreats here. As long as you get the 16, you're fine.
16 is here for Team Expert, and this is where I get fearful for Team Liquid. Splendor has to be on point with these ages. Remember, Executioner for level 16 for that Greymane. You have Mirror Ball from Li Ming. Her blow-up potential goes up exponentially with that 16. Full-on damage can take away a Muradin if that Splendor Aegis does not connect right away. So Team Expert looking for those fights, continues to push in here on the bottom while top is freely pushing.
There should be even talents fairly soon though. So we have just enough. If you get this wave, then you're in a decent spot. Darkmog, of course, has to be careful. If he at any point gets taken out, then the fight is instantly over. But a 16 talent would already be important. Frost Shot alone would be fantastic if you commit to it and if you don't go for more auto attack damage. Just for the control here. With a Tempered Discipline, he has definitely a few options available to himself. Also, of course, now with 16, we have Oriel straight heading into the attack speed, and that's going to be huge for them. Unyielding Despair on Leoric, the cooldown reduction is so good to get the extra damage out of prolonged team fights.
Yeah, level 20 also really great here for Team Liquid. Get the range there on the Vala, of course, Spectral Leech for Leoric. 4 more levels and they'll have it. So their team comp is certainly coming together. And of course, Muradin just a little bit more tanky at that 20. So Team Expert are going to be moving around, looking for those fights, maybe trying to get their spot to where they can get another turn in because they do have 82 gems. They would love to break down some keeps.
Azobs with the interrupt here, but a few gems still turned in. No commitment on, yeah it is, Frost Shot being used from Vala. Bit late, but goes for it. Double Entomb being used. They go for Norok. He's alive still, and they're trying to get the kill, but in the backline, the Cocoon has been used. Blum is a bit low, but still alive. Committed, of course, once again to his avatar. They're chasing the Expert off, and they are attempting to turn in a few of the gems on the side of Leoric.
Gems being dropped off, 37 more for Team Liquid. If they get the turn in, they will get Web Weavers. They need a total of 3 more. And they do not get it quite yet. Right. Some big cooldowns were used, but Archon and Age is still here. There's
the heals and the Web Weavers for the red team once again descending. They get another turn in great play by the experts here. But again, they're only a level ahead. Waves still pushed in against them, and Darkmog is just poking and poking away. Cocoon isn't ready, so they can't chase deep for this one. Just trying to drop some extra damage. Liquid is gonna try and defend here. They just have to defend the keeps. They still have a lot of gems they turned in, and they can get another turn in once that they are done with the defense here.
But can they see the keeps? As you mentioned, they're gonna try to. Push coming in from Expert. Nice and aggressive as the middle lane will be the main target. Leoric is in the bottom, so Team Expert with Bad Benny and, of course, Cocoon can force it at any point in this push. Will they move forward? Will they force it? Bad Benny's looking for it. Eventually, he does go in, but he's taking some damage there as Vala kept chunking.
Yeah, they're just trying to push this in, but Leoric will have to meet them here and try and defend. Actually, at this point, the experts are a little bit wary of the situation and are moving away. The constant poke has already dropped Bad Benny extremely low, and Uther didn't look all that healthy either. So Leoric still defending the bot lane, up to the top. The defense is also happening here, where Weavers are going to fall soon. But Expert is committing. Norok is going to hit that Entomb any second now. There it is. It's a triple as they are going in, but they blow Muradin to pieces.
Using the spear to get out of the fight. Greymane at the same time did get the Divine Shield from Curson, so you're right. It's going to be a 5v4 as Muradin gets burned down. Nurok's looking for the engage, but everyone from Team Expert is turning around. They don't mind fighting.
They do not mind fighting, but neither does Team Liquid. They know the cooldowns have been used. But big problem here with Blomby engaging, he was outside the range of Oriel's Aegis, and he didn't even commit to his own avatar simply because it was so fast. But if you jump in there, you have to be willing to activate it right away.
Still, a little wiggle room. Team Liquid will drop off 4 gems from Tassadar, and they have defended their keep. So they did lose Blumby, but they're still in a spot where they don't have to deal with catapult pressure. What can they do with this Web Weaver push, though? This is the big question, as they obviously would like to bring the fort in the bottom, but start opening keep walls.
The kill against Muradin, in the end, didn't help Expert.
Yeah.
So the Web Weavers are descending, he's back in time, he didn't commit to Avatar. So what Liquid tried to do here was go in, engage, hit the Entomb, and then force the fight. They were trying to kill heroes. But the kill didn't help Expert. For Liquid, it was a missed opportunity, but it's just a little bit of experience for Expert and nothing that is of any big consequence. But we could still see this turning around here right now because Liquid is just willing to pressure hard with this. But they're splitting Leoric off once again, and it allows Expert to poke against, especially with Greymane, against the Web Weavers, and already they defended the bot lane. Sorry, the mid lane.
Such a good defense here by Expert. So they faked an engage on Vala in the middle to force her to vault away, which takes her away from the engage that she wants. You want to be in the front line with your Vala working in those auto attacks. Her escaping allowed for Expert to turn around and put all their damage on the Web Weaver in the middle, so this puts all the resources in the top, and they get an easy clear here, which also puts them in a spot to move towards level 20. I love that shot call in the middle to go for the engage and feint in a team fight.
Liquid now with the double storm also on Tacita doing so much here. And the Web Weaver at the bot lane is still healthy and kicking. So the gap in experience is closed significantly. Great stun and the blow up against Vala. Also using the Cocoon. Splendor keeps himself alive for a few more seconds, but of course he's going to fall. And Liquid loses 2 heroes. 6 kills against 1. Level 20 is there. Hazops is low. Commits to Archon. Tries to move away. The Web Weaver is still at the bot lane. Starting to pressure the keep. But Liquid lost 3 heroes. And Expert is moving in.
They're moving in here, and this could be game. Remember, you got Sonya and Greymane, both heroes great at taking down a core rush. With 30 seconds here and no Vala on the field, it certainly is looking like a game. Expert charging forward on top of the core, 20-19. Nurak will do his best to slow down the push, as well as Blumby as they jump on top of Sonya. But look at Greymane on the back left, just chunking away at the core. It's dropping 70%, 60%, and it looks like it's game.
Divine Shield, 10 seconds until Vala is back. There's no way. Nubarak is down, but that is not enough. They use the Entomb to try and shield the core, but this is it as Experts take the lead in the best of 5.
And Dignitas sits at home and continues to clap. One more game here from Expert, and they'll be able to take out Team Liquid and, of course, knocking them out of the runnings for the Western Clash. Expert coming out, and it was a good game back and forth until that late game scenario where that one stun hit on top of Vala, and they were able to get the kill.
Coordination is just better right now for Experts. We had, at the top, Liquid could have moved back faster than that. They were still in a decent spot. They actually closed the gap in experience. Thanks to the Web Weavers dropping the keep at the bot lane, they were nearly on the same level. So it's only the kills that catapulted Experts forward to hit 20 faster. If Liquid moves back earlier than that, they can just sit tight, wait for the 20, and then fight with Spectral Leech, have also the extra range on Vala. But they clumped up their heroes, and then the stuns come in from Anubarak, and all of a sudden they're losing 2, they're losing 3, and at that point you can go for core. So Liquid, they just don't have that same discipline that they had a few weeks and months ago. Expert just looks a bit crisper. Still a great game, close game as well, but Expert a little bit more crisp than what we're seeing from Team Liquid.
Yeah, one of the reasons why Anubarak can be so good against that double support into a Vala, the epicenter at level 16, is very easy to hit if they loop up like that. And as Kadora mentioned, they were so clumped that it was very difficult for them to escape. Even with the Entomb on the back line actually hit 3 people and could have been good enough for Nurak to keep a Pimmers out, but they follow up from Li Ming, which is too quick, too fast.
I mean, we're also coming back to the death of Muradin in the mid lane. As I said, Expert didn't gain too much out of it, but Team Liquid missed out on an opportunity. Because as Muradin moves in, if he, before he gets stunned, uses his avatar, or if he waits for Oriel to come in so that she can actually shield him, we still had a triple Entomb at the same time. Leoric got 3 heroes with that. So if Muradin survives here and doesn't instantly die, their chances of dropping a target or 2 in this situation are fantastic. Then they get their turn in with the hero still being down. They can maybe take the fort at the bot lane already out before the Web Weavers even come down, so they can gain some momentum. But with Muradin being blown up so fast, you can either argue that it was maybe Blumby being a bit too aggressive, not hitting Avatar too soon, or I simply acknowledge that Expert had such a great call there. They were waiting for him to jump in. There's no way that call was made after he jumped in. It was way too fast. They were saying, hey guys, if you see Muradin hopping in, if he actually engages, instant turnaround. And he just died. He had no chance.
Well, Muradin dying there, unfortunate for them, but let's go ahead and talk about what's fortunate for all of our teams as they continue to qualify for the Western Clash. And so far, here who has actually qualified for Kiev. It's going to be Fnatic, Team Expert, Red Cannons, and Nomia that have all made it so far. Where today, we'll find out who will be the second team for EU, and of course, later on, North America will start their race to see who will be going.
And I think I can also give a few more updates now on the situation that we are having in this particular setup, because we know that if Team Liquid wins this, it's going to be a 3-2. They need to win 2 games in a row. So if that's actually the case, then we would have Team Expert in, am I reading this correctly? Team Expert in the 2nd spot and Team Liquid in the 3rd.
So, Team Liquid has to win to be that 3rd team no matter what. If they do not win, Dignitas will be in that slot there with Fnatic, Expert, and of course, Team Liquid or Dignitas.
So earlier when we came in before the last map happened, there was still the chance that Team Liquid actually, if they win the series, win with a 3-1. That would mean they take second seed and Expert third seed. With Expert now already having won 2 maps, the worst case scenario for them is that they end up in the third seed. But of course, if they win, that wouldn't really, then Team Liquid score doesn't matter anymore. Then the Experts would take the second seed and Dignitas would slot into third. So for Dignitas, everything's on the line right now because they need Experts to win 1 more map. But Liquid is still in the, I would say, comfortable situation where they themselves can control their own fate. Win the series and you're at the Western Clash. Lose and you're out.